Hey guys, today I wanted to talk about how the 2020 electoral map has changed in the last month or so. So basically on the screen here I have my electoral prediction from mid-June. Basically this was the map that I made an election prediction out of. So you can check that out after this video, and today I just wanted to talk about how this map has actually changed since then, and which states I think are stronger for Biden, weaker for Biden, stronger for Trump, or weaker for Biden. So first, I'm just going to fill in some of these states that I think will not be safe states for Trump this time around. These are all traditionally conservative states. These states are the states of Montana, Utah, Alaska, Missouri, Indiana, and South Carolina. I do think that these states will all almost definitely go to Trump. However, I do not think that he will carry these states by over 15%. I honestly believe that a 7 to 15% margin of victory for Trump is much more likely in these 6 states. They will still go to Trump nonetheless. It will not make a difference on his electoral count, but I do think that they will not be as strong for Trump as they were in 2016. Next, looking at some states that I categorize too strongly for Joe Biden are the states of Nevada and New Mexico. Nevada I categorize as a likely state for Joe Biden. I do think he'll only win this state by around 5 to 6%. I think the state of Nevada, it did go to Hillary Clinton by around 2%. I do think Biden will almost definitely increase on her margins. However, new polling data has shown that Nevada may not be as solid for Biden as it once was. Looking at the state of New Mexico, I do categorize New Mexico as a solid state. I do think Biden will win the state by over 10%. However, I do not think that a 15% margin of victory for Biden in the state of New Mexico is too likely. And looking at the Rust Belt here, I think the Rust Belt would still all go to Joe Biden with the exception of Indiana. However, I do think that the states of Michigan as well as the states of Pennsylvania will be a little stronger for Biden. I think these will be likely states. They are all polling for Joe Biden by around 7 to 8%. The polling average for Biden in Pennsylvania actually overtook the average in Michigan, which is pretty surprising considering Michigan has always been, a little more liberal of a state than Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is Joe Biden's home state, so it's not that surprising, but it's just interesting to see that Pennsylvania is now more liberal than Michigan, at least on the presidential level. And then looking at the state of Ohio, I think Ohio will be a tilt state, but I do think it will still go to Joe Biden. I think Ohio will be closer than what I thought in mid-June. In mid-June, Biden actually had a larger lead in this state. It has narrowed down a little bit since then, but this is a state that Trump won by 8.1% in 2016, so it's surprising to see that Biden leading in the state of Ohio. And then looking at the state of Florida, this is my last state out of the Democrats that I think are stronger or weaker for Biden as of now. I think that the state of Florida will be stronger for Joe Biden. 20 electoral votes. Florida is always a very important state in the electoral college. This state basically decided the 2000 election by 537 votes. It's always been very close, 1-2% margins. However, Biden currently leads by over 7% in the state of Florida. So I do think that Florida will be a likely state for Joe Biden if polling data stays consistent. I think that Florida, 20 electoral votes, very important state. I think if Florida flips, many other states will flip. And I think that Florida, if Biden were to win the state of Florida, I basically can say that Biden would win the election. Looking at Donald Trump's remaining states, I think that all of these the rest of these solid states will be solid states for Donald Trump nonetheless. These states are never going to vote for Joe Biden. So I think that these will all go to Trump by over 15% definitely, but there are some flips that I will have to make, first being the 2nd District of Nebraska. I think that new polling data has shown Biden ahead in the 2nd District, so I do think that Biden will actually be able to flip the state from this district that Hillary Clinton could not carry in 2016. She lost both congressional districts, but I do not think that Biden will be able to carry the 2nd District of Maine. Trump won this district by over 10%. I do think that Trump will still win, however, by a much smaller margin, but still the one electoral vote nonetheless. Next, looking at the state of North Carolina, I think North Carolina will actually flip into the Biden column in 2020. I think that a lean margin is actually likely not a tilt margin. I think North Carolina will be better for Biden than Ohio, just because in the state of North Carolina, he leads by around 3-4% in this state, and I think that, it is becoming more and more liberal, along with most states in the southeast, South Carolina, Georgia, all becoming a little bit more liberal. Georgia is actually going to narrow up, so in my next 2 states, Iowa and Georgia, I think Iowa and Georgia will definitely become tilt states. Biden actually led in both of these states at the same time around a couple of weeks ago, but Trump has overtaken him in these two states. These states are all traditionally very Republican states. However, this is not the case in 2020. These states will be very close, but I do think Trump will actually be able to edge Biden out as of now in these two crucial battleground states. And then lastly, the last state, of course, is the state of Texas. I think Texas I gave to Trump as a likely state for the president. However, I do think Texas will definitely narrow up. I think Texas will definitely be a tilt state along with Iowa and Georgia. This is just because, Texas is basically in a tie at this moment. If you go on 538, no candidate is actually leading in the state of Texas. It is a literal tie in the state. This state, a state that went to Donald Trump by over 8%, has never gone to a Democrat in the past 40 years. So I think Biden definitely has the best chance of flipping the state for a Democrat in, basically 4 decades. So I think that Biden should definitely focus some time in Texas. However, I do think that at this point, Texas, it will still go to Trump. It's been going to the Republican Party, and I really do not think that it will change in 2020. However, in 2024, 2028, definitely. So basically, this puts Joe Biden at 352 electoral votes, winning the election and becoming the 46th president, and Donald Trump losing his re-election bid with 186 electoral votes. So I am doing something new today. I'm using the white background. So please comment down below whether you like that or you like the old gray background that I tend to use for my videos. And so if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like as well as subscribing to my channel. I would really appreciate that, and I will see you in the next video.